I just packed my bags and went. Hey guys, so in today's video I actually wanted to talk about something that I don't think I've mentioned it previously in my videos, about the story of how I actually came to move to Japan, all the fun stuff and not so fun stuff that came along with it. So let's go back a couple of years ago. When I was 20, I was in my first year of university studying fashion photography at London College of Fashion. In school, we had a month off every term, and for me, I knew already that I wanted to travel. I had already been traveling, but I had in mind that I really wanted to go visit Asia, in particular Japan. As soon as I turned 20, right after the New Year's, I flew on New Year's Day. I got on a plane and I made my way to Japan for the very, very first time. So I stayed in Kyoto for 2 weeks. I had a friend that lived in Kyoto. It was perfect, you know, free accommodation, got to explore. It was such an incredible feeling, like landing in Japan and just feeling very comfortable. I think it was snowing a little bit. You know, obviously there's all the beauty that there is to Kyoto. So I was definitely very mesmerized and starstruck. And I remember during that time I was really like coming up to the idea that of course I really do maybe try to come here more often and see how I feel like. And so throughout the next few years of university, that's exactly what I did. Summer holidays, monthly term breaks, I would work so much in between whilst going to school, and then I would come and spend the holidays here. And I got to see the sakura season. I think the second time I came to Japan, because I stayed for a month, I was able to come and visit Tokyo. It was completely different from what I had obviously experienced in Kyoto. Something about the city and even like the way that people dressed and kind of like lived their life for me was very fascinating. So then I started getting more involved in the fashion. Like I started wanting to wear certain types of clothes and kind of like experiment with, you know, having fun with how I can dress. And I've gone through some terrible outfits. Who hasn't really in their whole life? And whilst I was in Japan, I was meeting a lot of people because I was doing some photo shoots, working with friends of friends who were creatives, like, you know, a few models and makeup artists and like some stylists. I was a photographer. So this is the cool thing. Like I was a photographer because I've always thought that I could just be a photographer because I didn't have that confidence yet to really try to be on the other side, even though people constantly kept on telling me, you should give it a shot, give it a shot. That's maybe for another video. So what happened is I started going back and forth, London, Japan, London, Japan. I started growing my connections, my network here in Japan, meeting lots and lots of people, to the point that when it came to my third year, in the final year, I stayed in Japan for about 5 weeks. I was working my final major project that gives you basically if you pass university or not. If anyone's curious, I was mainly focusing on documenting the fashion of the subculture lifestyle in Japan when people party. Personally, I also think it was just me trying to just have a lot of fun. That was really, really cool. So within those 5 weeks that I was here, I remember I was like renting this place really, really far out. It was in the area of Chofu, and Chofu is far. I started working with Nylon Japan and other magazines as well. This is all like independently. And then towards the end of my trip, I did get contacted by 2 agencies to be part of their agency. They wanted to hire me. One of them was pretty well known, and they're all Japanese agencies, not like foreigners agency, which was, now that I think about it, it's like so strange. But you know, back then I had really long black hair, not saying that I looked Japanese at all. So in the end, I ended up going with a completely different agency because a friend of a friend was in this agency, said good things. I ended up being with this agency and they said to me, look, we can make you a visa, you can come over and live here. And I was like, it's that easy? And I remember that I was like in the middle of like having to go back to London, do my final major project presentation, telling my tutor about this incredible opportunity that, you know, was presented to me. So yeah, I think I went back to the UK. I stayed another 2 weeks only. I packed my whole life. I quit my job. I told my university, yep, here's a project. Thanks for the 3 years. Can't wait to get my uni degree. I did not go to graduation. That's totally fine by me. I mean, I got my certificate, that's all I need. In less than 2 weeks, I was ready to leave everything behind and just start on this completely new chapter. So then when I moved to Japan, I was living with 2 other Japanese girls. One of these girls, she was actually in the same university that I was, and she had also just graduated, not the same class, a different class. And she had mentioned to me like, hey, me and this girl, we're actually looking for a roommate, so if you need a room. And I was like, oh my god, so many exciting things are happening. Like, this is not only the first time that I am leaving the country for my own choice, but I'm also going to be living by myself for the first time, because back in London I still lived with my family. I didn't leave home when I went to university because my school's in London, my house is in London. Why would? So that's how I was able to save a lot of money and to be able to be traveling all the time. I moved to Japan and I remember just being like, whoa, like I'm here. I'm actually here. Growing up, there has been a lot of like obstacles. Kind of like if you feed into them, it really does stop you from going after your dreams. Like for me, I just wanted to live in a new country that happened to be Japan. I was so excited to learn a new language, a new culture, work something artistically. When I was younger, I got told that I would never be able to visit Japan because how could I possibly ever afford a trip like that? Another comment when I started to be interested in fashion, curious if I could possibly model. I remember like asking advice from one of the girls that were here, and she literally said to me that I would never ever make it as a model because X, Y, and Z. Other stuff like that, if I had really just kind of believed and listened to what people, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have experienced the life that I had right now. I'm really, really glad that kind of like a risk, you know? So since that first agency, I had a lot of different other agencies, and right now I am freelancing. If you're interested in that, I do have a video on that. I will link it down below where you can listen to it, and maybe if you have any questions, go ahead, ask them. If you've been following my videos for a long time, you know that my career has been shifting and my life has been shifting. I still work as a model, but now at this moment, I'm also like growing as a musician and an artist. That's for a different day. If I had listened to people and also to my own insecurities, I wouldn't have been here right now. So that's my story about how I moved to Japan at the age of 22. I just packed my bags and went. So guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope that it's kind of inspired you to go and search for anything that is exciting, to change anything in your life. Of course, right now, in this moment, we are currently living in a pandemic. I think there are still so many things that we can do from where we are right now to improve our lives better, even if it's little by little. Anyways, sorry there. This is going to be my 7th year. It's going to be my 7th year of living in Japan. I can't believe that I'm here for 7 years. So many things has happened in between, by the way, these 7 years. Yeah, I've been loving every bit of it, and I think it's time to finally share all my stories and all my lessons learned. I hope you're having a good time wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.